call is now being recorded.
Esta es Global Telling. Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
Eric Fuentes.
un individuo encarcelado en de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5. Gracias por utilizar Global Tel-Link.
Hello? Hello?
Hey.
Hey, Erica. Hey, how's it going tonight?
Man, pretty good. What's going on, James?
Man, hey, you know what? I want to go ahead and, welcome you to this YouTube channel called You Have a Collect Call From. And today we're going to be bringing in our newest interviewee, Eric. He's going to be sharing his life journey, where he currently sits at, but what ultimately, what got him there. Would you mind giving like a small introduction of who you are and whatever you want the audience to know about you right now?
You know what? I'm just another guy behind these walls, man. Trying to create a success story out of my situation, man. I've been in here since like the age of 19. I'm 37 now. I'm one of them guys that learned fast, but I had to learn the hard way. And so, because of being this way, I made a lot of poor choices in my life. And fortunately, though, I don't allow these poor decisions that I've made in the past to define who I am today. So today I can say that I'm not the same individual who I was when I committed my crime that ultimately led me to a life sentence, So yeah, man, I've done a lot of work, man, to make sure that I've changed, man, that I've grown up, that I've matured, that I left that person who I was back there, and the only time I go back to that person is pretty much to learn from the lessons that my experience has taught me,
Yeah.
So yeah, man. That's pretty much it, man. As you said, I believe you said my name right. My name's Eric.
Yep.
37. Just in here, man, trying to reach that goal of hopefully getting that second chance at life,
Yeah. Hey, thank you for that intro that you shared with us, and man, let's just go ahead and get into it. And normally everybody that I brought in so far, normally whenever we do these over the phone interviews, I like to start off with, what's your earliest childhood memory? What do you remember, whether it was good, bad, a memory that you had as a child?
Damn. Okay. So we're going back. We're going way back, huh?
Way
No,
back.
We're going that back. I ain't that old.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
I guess if I went back to my earliest memory, the earliest memories that I have are of me in El Salvador, actually. At the age of like 2 years old, my dad decided to take me and my brother to El Salvador. And this was crazy was that I did trip out on this too because this is during the time over there where the Civil War was coming to an end over there. And I mean, you know, El Salvador it's a jacked up country, or at least it has a history of it. You know, third world country, a lot of violence over there, and things like that, things of that nature. So I just thought that he made the decision to take us over there. But what I struggled with the most after he took us over there was that we were only supposed to go over there for 6 months, right? I was like 2 years old, and he took me and my older brother over there. And what's crazy was that they went over there for like 6 months and then came back, so they left my ass over there. So I was just like, now I think back on that and I just like, what the hell? So I stayed over there for about like 2 years. 2 years in El Salvador, and I remember like things from like at such a young age, freaking, I had little supervision really. I was over there with like extended family. They had their life going on as well, you know. So just as a kid over there, man, it was on my own. I tried to make friends with like the kids in the little neighborhoods there, and I had good memories over there. I remember they used to like use me for like they used to have like these little street parades, kind of like ghetto rose parades for whatever. And I remember they used to use me as a kid to like celebrate certain things over there. My aunt used to do that. And things like that. So there was fun moments with my family over there. I got to experience and live with my extended family for a little bit. And but the one that stuck with me the most, my I guess you could say the memory that scarred me in a way was that at such a young age, like I said, this was during like the end of the Civil War over there, and there was a lot of criminality, a lot of freaking anarchy, you would say, right? In a way, right? Like screw the government and all that, and so a lot of crime, major crimes over there, and so during a point in my life while I was over there, one of my uncles who I was living with, he used to run like a little neighborhood store, right? Like a little neighborhood store where he sold like rice and beans and fruits and vegetables and like even candy and fireworks and stuff like that. So like out of his house is like a storefront out of his house, you know. And over there too, the houses, they're not all roofed up, you know. Like there's certain parts of the house that are covered, and then there's certain parts that ain't. And so I remember living there, and on one occasion over there, they had some freaking they used to call them guerrilleros, right? During the time when I was over there, like I guess like guerrilla warriors or whatnot, right? And I remember them coming to the house and asking my uncle to let them in. You know, they wanted to rob us. They wanted to take everything. They wanted to take the money. They wanted to take merchandise and products that my uncle had, and so I remember this happening. And these guys are like masked up. You know, they got the whole gear on, and I'm just like, I'm probably at this time, I want to say 3 to 4. I couldn't have been older than 5 because I was only over there for like 2 years, and I came back in 91, 92, and so I remember them trying to come in, and my uncle wasn't having it. He wasn't having it. So I remember him telling my aunt, his sister at the time, who was taking care of me at the time as well, that telling her to take me into the room and to pretty much go hide out, man. And he went and freaking asked one of my cousins that lived with us at the time too, like, hey, like, grab the guns, like, grab the guns. These people are trying to come in and rob us. And sure enough, man, like I said, some of the houses over there, they don't really have a ceiling, a roof, or a cover in certain areas of the house. So these guys jumped in with their guns as well, with their weapons. And man, next thing you know, you just start hearing a bunch of gunfire, man. They just started shooting it out. Like, nobody was trying to give in. My uncle wasn't trying to give in. My cousin wasn't trying to give in. They had weapons, to defend themselves. And these guys came in trying to take our stuff as well. And so, man, I remember just hearing the gunfire as a kid. I'm in a room with my aunt, mi tía Magda, and she's in there and she's just crying and praying, and I'm just a little kid, man, and I'm confused. I'm not really sure what's happening. I know that it's bad, that it's not good, but I'm just like I guess you could say in a state of like shock, but not really shocked, because I don't remember like being still or like anything, but just kind of like wondering like what the hell's going on, like my aunt's over here crying hysterically, and I'm hearing gunshots and things like that. And yeah, man, it was crazy. It was crazy as hell. And what came out of it, man, fortunately, because of my uncle and my cousin's resistance, I mean, they didn't get hurt. I don't know if any of the other guys trying to come in got hurt, right? But I know that they ended up fleeing, because I don't think they expected that coming to the house in the first place. Or maybe they did, but it just didn't turn out for them like how they wanted it, And
yeah.
So I remember that, man. That was like kind of like one of my first earliest memories that kind of stuck with me from a child,
You know what? So
yeah.
Right now, when you said that your parents sent you to El Salvador for 2 years, it's not uncommon. And the reason I say that is because I know a lot of people, even in my family. So I'm half Salvadorian, I'm half Puerto Rican, and after my parents separated, my mom ended up hooking up with this Mexican guy, and I had a younger brother that was born after me, and he was raised in Mexico. But that was a common thing, from so from his dad's side, everybody would do that. Everybody in his family would ship all their their sons, their daughters to be raised by the grandma in Mexico, and
right.
And you know what? And I asked my mom once. I was, hey, how come my younger brother? Why was he raised, in Mexico? Why was it that he didn't stay here with us? And from what she tells me, from what I remember, my brother, he used to get sick really easily. I don't know if it was like the weather or whatever, or my mom would have to go to work really early in the morning, so the weather just wasn't good for my brother at that that early in the morning. So he was raised out there pretty much, and but he stayed out there till he was 18, and he ended up coming to the U.S. once he was able to leave on his own, and
yeah.
And a lot of things that you just mentioned right now, that you saw and experienced in El Salvador. I mean, I would hear stories about it, like about La Sombra Negra, and man, they would do some way out stuff. I remember hearing stories of women that were pregnant, and they would. I'm not gonna really get into specifics because I'm not trying to get banned or anything, but man, they would do some really way out stuff to people. And it would leave you like scratching your head, like, damn, like really, like, why? It just doesn't make any sense. Yeah, people would come up missing, and get, and they would extort you and stuff
Le
like that.
queda un restante de 60 segundos.
So that was.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
So you were there like in the 80s, right? Like in the late 80s, early 90s, maybe.
Late 80s. Late 80s. I got there like in 89, and I came back in 91, 92, somewhere around there. Yeah, I came back for kindergarten. They sent me over there to chill while I waited while kindergarten.
And call back. I know
before kindergarten.
it's about to hang up right now. Yeah. Hey, thank you.
All right. Okay, back. All right, buddy.
All right. So I want to go ahead and give a shout out to everybody that's participated in the chat. My apologies. I don't like to interrupt, while they're in the middle of sharing their stories. And this would be Eric, and he's currently located in Centinela State Prison. Cookie Monster. Okay. Sorry, my daughter just walked in. She wants me to type something on her tablet here. Nice. Monster.
Cookie Monster.
Okay, ahí está Cookie Monster. All right, so yeah, hey, right now, Mr. Cali Boy, I'll go ahead and let him know that the message that you tapped on there. Shout out to Casey_fan, Miss Shelley, or Ma Shelley. My apologies. Charles Ruiz. Who else is in here? And Ms. Gomez _ Them Rascals. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. And this would be the first time that he would be calling in. He should be calling back in the next few moments. And once he calls back, then we'll go ahead and continue with it. Over here on the YouTube side, we got Scorpio Rising. And we also got Chubby Jessica. Hey, Jessica, how's it going? And Scorpio Rising, thank you for the support on the YouTube side. We're currently doing and he's calling back. Here we go.
This call is now being recorded.
All right, and GTL or Garbage Tail Link is acting up today. It looks like the call was disconnected, and hopefully he calls us back. And once he does, then we'll go ahead and continue with it. And definitely looking forward to hearing this story. And let me see. All right, so yeah, I'm looking forward to getting into the story. I really don't know much of him right now. We spoke briefly on I think it was Sunday, or no, not Sunday. I think maybe Friday, and I told him that my next available date to do his journey would be on Monday, and I thought I was gonna do it a little bit earlier, but other things have been coming up, so I didn't get to do it until right now. Anyhow, so how's everybody doing out there? Oh, here we go. Let's see.
This call is now being
Global
recorded.
Telling. Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
Eric Fuentes.
un individuo encarcelado de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5. Gracias por utilizar Global Tel Link.
Hello, Eric.
Yo.
All right. Hey, cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you for calling back. So we have some comments here on TikTok, and we have a support message from where is this message at? Mr. Cali Boy, and he puts, "What up, G?
All right.
Tell him to keep his head up, G."
Okay.
All right.
Man, I appreciate that. Absolutely.
You remember, so I told you that these streams are live, and sometimes our or sometimes the people watching our streams, they'll put comments on here or they'll ask questions. So that was one of the messages that I read while we were in the middle of the conversation. And so I want to go ahead and take you back to being in El Salvador you said like 80, 89, and you came back in 91.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So man, all kinds of crazy stuff. I remember like around that time, like maybe like 87, my mom wanted to take us to El Salvador, and my dad was like, "Nope, not gonna happen. No way. It's just too crazy out there." And so. Yeah. As a kid, I was never allowed to go El Salvador. I didn't go the first. I didn't get to go to El Salvador maybe till like about maybe like 6 or 7 years ago when I was already in my I think my late 30s, and it was still bad.
Oh, wow.
Back then. So I recently went back last year. We've been back a few times now, and man, you could see the difference now. You could walk around freely. You don't have any issues. Yeah, man. The only issues you probably have is from the cops if they think you're a pandillero, or if your neighbors call the cops on you to tell them that you're a pandillero, then you got something coming your way. But other than that, if you're normal, you don't have no tattoos, and that's the thing about me. I don't have any tattoos. I'm a blank canvas. So
Oh, yeah. You're
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good. You're good over there. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? and growing up, yeah, tattoos were cool, but if you had tattoos, you ran the risk of getting caught up because people want to ask you like, hey, like what does that mean, or what is that, or things of that nature. So I used to like moving around LA freely without having any issues, even though I still had issues, even though I wasn't blasted up or tatted up.
Right, for sure.
Yeah. So after that, you end up coming back in 90. You come back in 91. Are your parents together when you come back to the U.S.?
Yeah. They're together. They're together. They're living in North Hills in the San Fernando Valley. They're renting a room out of a house. It's just my mom, my dad, and my older brother, and that's where I arrived to when I came back in '91. Absolutely, yeah, they're still together, and yeah.
Let me ask you. So your parents, did they know each other in El Salvador, and they came here together, or did they meet here in the U.S.?
No, yeah, they knew each other from over there. They were from like around the same. I guess over there they call them
Departamentos.
Like, yeah, yeah, they were like from the same area, and so yeah, they met over there, and they made that decision to come over here. They made that hard travel to try to come to these states to try to live a better life, man. Yeah.
Hey, you know what? And it's rare. It's rare to meet anybody that had parents that came from El Salvador. Like for me, for instance, my mom, and that's why I'm a half breed. I'm half and half because my mom, she came out here by herself, and then I guess like back in the 70s or whenever she got out here, I guess there wasn't that many Salvadoreños here, so she ended up hooking up with my dad, which was Puerto Rican. The only like families that I have that were full-blooded were Salvadoreños, were people that were born in El Salvador. Other than that, everybody that was born here, everybody got, it's half. The only other person that I know that's full-blooded Salvadoreña is my wife. My wife's parents, they didn't come together, but they knew each other from El Salvador. They were in a relationship, and then ultimately, my wife was born here in the U.S.
Right.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
So a while ago you just mentioned that your parents were renting a room. So they're renting a room in a house from somebody they knew, or was it like a random connection?
You know what? I don't think they were like close acquaintances. I'm not sure if they were. I don't think they were really friends of a family like that. I think they just found that room. I don't think they had any history with the people that lived there, as far as like friends or something like that. But yeah, they rented the room there, and but I mean, when I got there, I think they had already planned to like, all right, once Eric gets back, like we're gonna have to find another place to stay, because that's gonna be 4 of us living in this house, in this room that we're renting, So I didn't really get to stay in that house for that long. Probably was there for like probably a few months before we actually found a single apartment nearby in the city of Van Nuys, and that's where we ended up moving to shortly after I got back.
Okay, okay. And how was your household? You know, growing up, were both of your parents working? Were you left home alone, or did you find yourself walking home from school by yourself? How was your family life looking back at it now?
Just like that, man. I guess the phrase they use now that I recently learned is a latchkey kid. That's what me and my brother was. Both my parents worked. My brother was like, he was my keeper. Like we went to school together. We went to the same elementary school. During that time, he was about 4 years older than me, so that was like about the only time we ever went to school together. Yeah, we would walk to school together, and then we'd come back home together, and we'd come back to an empty house. My mom would be having to work, my dad would be at work, so it was just come back and then try to stay out of trouble until they get back home. Usually, my mom for the longest, God rest her soul, she worked for till like about 5:30, 6, and then my dad, he would come. Sometimes he would get home like I want to say about 4 o'clock, in the afternoon. Sometimes later, depending if he's working overtime or not. Sometimes he'll get home like at 8 at night, and so it was whoever got there first to come take care of me and my brother. Yeah.
And during this time, what would you find what kind of things were you and your brother doing? Were you guys home playing video games, drawing?
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
Doing homework? What kind of things were you doing at that age?
Shoot. During this time, we would, since my brother was older, I kind of stuck to him pretty much. He took me under the wing once I got back. I didn't speak no English at all, when I started school. But I mean, most Spanish families, that's kind of how it is. But yeah, so he kind of took me under his wing, and so during those times, I just stuck to him. I followed him around. He would hang out with his friends. We definitely weren't going home until like we had to be home, because it was like my dad, like once he got home, like he expected us to be there. So we would just hang out. We would just hang out around our elementary school. I'd hang out with him and his friends. They were all older. I was always the youngest around that crowd, the group of kids, and they would just play sports, little things like that. Hang out, joke around, little things. I just used to hang out and just think, that like I looked up to them, because they were older than me, and I liked their style. I appreciated their friendships, because I didn't really have too many friends like that. And so with my brother being older than me, he kind of took me into that arena, and yeah, we would just hang out after school. Oftentimes, though, as time passed, man, I don't know how, but I started hanging around with like the bad kids in school as well. Start hanging around with some of the troublemakers in my class, like guys that were like similar to me, who didn't go home after school, who hung around and had that free time to kind of like get into some trouble, and so I started doing that a little bit. And then my older brother, like that was kind of his thing too, like hanging out, trying to be cool, hanging out with the cool kids, wearing baggy clothes. I remember he tried to like sneak out, or like he'll take some of Dad's pants because he didn't like his pants because they were like small. So he'll take my dad's pants because they were bigger, and he used to like when he'll hide them outside, and then when we go through, he'll change out, he'll switch them out, and then be wearing some big ass pants, some baggy ass pants, and like that was cool back then. The baggy clothes was like, oh yeah, you're cool, So he used to do that, and then all his friends were like that, and so I grew up looking at that, like looking up to that, like, all right, cool, like, so this is how it's done, like you got to be cool, to fit in. You got to hang out with the cool crowd and things like that. So that's kind of what it was growing up, and eventually, like, a lot of times I would oftentimes wait for my brother to get out of detention because he was getting in trouble in school, and I'll just have to wait outside the class, like, man, waiting for him to get out, like, and then he's in there, and he'll be in the classroom switching out his pants because he's not gonna have enough time to switch out because we didn't live that far from our house from the school either. Like, it was probably like about a block away. It was so close. So he's in there changing and stuff, like what's this dude doing? Like, what the hell? Like just wear your pants. Now, I'm thinking back on it, like, but that's just what it was, We just hung around and did what we could with our time, and sometimes kind of got in trouble,
Let me ask you, and what age was this that the time frame you're speaking about right now?
I was probably like second grade, second or third grade, around that time. When I would witness these things, have these experiences, and my brother was probably like in the sixth grade, and yeah, and so like I said, that's what it kind of was around that time, and I even remember during that time too, I was creating my own friends, my own little friends, and like I said, like what attracted me was like kids.
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
Damn. Okay. Yeah, like, yeah, this is, man, my girl hates these recordings too, man. She's like, she can't stand them. But, yeah, I started hanging around with kids like me, man, and we had nothing else better to do. And I gotta call you back, huh?
Yeah, we're down to about, let me see how many, about 30 seconds, yep.
Okay, well, I'll hit you back up then.
All right,
and
cool.
Then, all right.
We'll be waiting. Thank you.
All right.
All right. So if you're just tuning in right now, we're currently got our newest guest right now. His name is ERICK Fuentes. And you know what? Anytime I hear that name, Fuentes, the last name, it reminds me about that one collect call from what was it? Victor Fuentes from Compton. If you guys haven't checked that out, you definitely want to check it out. Look up 911 call from Victor Fuentes. It's hilarious, man. He if I remember correctly, he fell down the stairs and he calls 911. And then he wants them to send an ambulance, but he doesn't want them to send them with they want it to be all quiet and shit with no sirens. So if you guys want a good laugh, definitely look up that video. It'll definitely you'll definitely get some good laughs out of it. Anyhow, so this is ERICK Fuentes' first time coming on. He's one of our newest guests. And if you're just tuning in right now, this would be right now when he calls back, it'll be our third phone call. And if you miss any of it, always remember that we're also on YouTube, and everything's saved on YouTube. You could go to playlist, or you go to at CollectCallFrom, or you have a CollectCallFrom with no spaces on YouTube, and look up the playlist, and then you'll everybody's on there by their name. So if you want to catch up on ERICK's story, just go back on YouTube. And once again, hey, thank you guys. You know, the guys that have tuned in, really appreciate it. And I was gonna say something else, but I totally forgot. So lovely dot sunshine. How old is he and where is he at? So everybody so far pretty much that normally comes on, they're located in Centinela State Prison in what, how do you say it, in el Valle Imperial. And he's, I think he's in his 30s. I'm not exactly sure. I think he might have said 33 or 37, but I'll double check with him right now. I'll confirm when he calls back, and he's calling back right now. And these calls are live. So today, what is it?
This
Monday?
call is now being
Esta es
recorded.
Global Telling. Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
Eric Fuentes.
un individuo encarcelado en de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5. Gracias por utilizar Global Telling.
Hello, Eric.
Yo.
Okay, so
Hey.
we have one of our viewers right here on TikTok. She's asking, how old is he and where is he at? So they want to know how old you are and where you're currently located.
Oh, me? I'm 37, and I'm in Centinela State Prison.
All right. Hey, thank you for answering that there right there. And we also have a question. We have a question that one of our viewers on TikTok is asking, and he goes by LA Dodger. I believe, if I remember correctly, he's a former lifer also, and he ultimately made it out. I don't remember the specifics. I know he shared some of that on the comments, a few streams ago, and he's asking how did he start how did he start drifting away from doing good, and when?
How did I start drifting away from doing good and when?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Man, it to be honest with you, it was before I even came over here. It feels like I was a delinquent already from like a young age. I think it started in El Salvador with the peers that I was creating out, that I was hanging around with. It was always older kids. They used to ask me to like and keep in mind, like I had little to no adult supervision. Like my extended family over there, they were trying to live their life. Like it was all about survival over there. So everybody's in that mindset. So to have time for like me or like other like responsibilities like that was very, very little. And so I remember I used to started stealing at like 3 or 4 years old. I used to steal from my uncle from his little spot, because the kids that I was hanging around with used to just be like, hey man, like grab some candy from your uncle's store, or like grab some fireworks and you could come over and we'll pop them at my house and things like that. And so from a very young age, like I started messing up. Like I was already like a straight klepto, man, and that stayed with me. That stayed with me till I came back. I came over here, and then, like I said, I looked up to my brother. So when I got back, like that's who I stuck to. That's who I try to emulate and things like that. And so when I came back over here, it was like I was doing the same. I was stealing all the time as a kid. I didn't know no better. I mean, being that small, like I knew it was wrong, I guess you could say, but it was acceptable. I wasn't getting in trouble for it. I was, getting props for it. As a matter of fact, I was getting praise for it. Like, hey, fool, steal these chips or these drinks or whatever, and it was like I felt like I was good at it, so I just used to do it, So it was from a very, very young age that I started that, like that delinquency, that criminality, and like could I tell you where I learned it from? I couldn't tell you. I think it was just pure influence that kind of kind of led me that way, you know. And so it was at a very young age, and it continued on like all my elementary years, up until I decided to make a commitment to life changing, man, life changing
Decisions.
things, behaviors, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, decisions, exactly. Yeah.
And
I-
the LA Dodgers asking how did Steely make him feel, man? Hey, let me throw my 2 cents in on that one because I used to love Steely, man. Whoa, man, that was my favorite thing to do, especially like man, it was, you know, me and my group of friends, we had we would have competitions of who would come up on the best things. Like, man, we used to go into like back in the days. I don't know if you remember Blockbuster Music, The Warehouse, Good Guys.
I saw that.
Man, we used to
Sam
do some.
Goody.
Oh, Sam, man, yup. Oh man, you know. Then you know, man. Hey, we used to get so crazy with it that we used to come up on the keys. So we used to have the keys to take off the tags of the clothing. We used to have the keys for with the Warehouse to take the CDs out. Man, we were like we used to climb behind we used to go like on all fours, and we would go behind the counters and grab boxes of CD players at the Warehouse. Man, we used to just do some way out crazy stuff just to, you know, to see who could do the most, who could come up on the most things on one day. Man, it used to make me feel good, you know, because I wasn't doing anything else, you know. I wasn't doing anything positive with my life. So you know, with your peers and stuff, you know, we were all doing the same, we were all involved in the same thing. So even though it wasn't something positive, it was competitive, and we would get recognition from our peers, even from other groups of people that weren't directly connected to us, but they knew what we were doing. They would hear stories like, hey, these fools from this area, these fools are crazy. Like when they come up, like they go bananas. Like we would go, I remember to Office Depot and Staples, and we would like come up on backpacks full of ink, and we used to go cash them in because there were cashing spots. Like if you're I'm not sure like how familiar you're with the shoplifting scene, you know, back in the 90s or early 2000s, man. But there was definitely a black market for makeup, for ink, for batteries,
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
For electronics and things like that. So, man, I could say that, man, all that stuff used to make me feel good. Would you mind answering, you know, from your from somebody put Lucy Gallegos put klepto. Oh man, that should have been my name, klepto. Klepto.
Yeah, no. I mean, even to this day, I mean, the other day, just like, and this is how entrenched it is, right? Like, I grabbed the toilet paper from somewhere in here.
Yeah.
And then and me and my buddies are eating. We're eating some nachos, and we need some napkins, but we don't got no napkins. And there's like the little spot where you could like go ask for a toilet paper or whatever. Well, I just went in there and I grabbed it, and I grabbed it and I came out, and I'm just like, damn, hey, like, look what I just got. I just stole this. And it's like, what? Like the homies like, fool, you're getting off on that? Like, you still got that, like, you're getting a kick out of that, huh? And I'm like, hell yeah, I feel like this is crazy, right? But yeah, it's definitely like a exhilarating feeling. It's it brings about excitement, and then just the rush of like getting away with it or getting caught, or like just feeling like damn, like this is risky, this is dangerous, but I can do it. And then being able to do it is like an accomplishment. Like it's in a way you feel proud of being able to do these things, because like you said, there was nothing else that I was up to that I felt proud of. So like just doing these things and getting validation for it and getting praise and being good at it was a great feeling, like a feeling of like I'm good at something, you know, a feeling of like I'm accepted, or like these people, they like me because of this, and like things like that. Like yeah, it was a feeling of that, and it was just like, and we just stole just to steal, you know, like
Yep.
like we didn't really need the shit, but at the same time, you know, it was like, let's see what I could come up on. Like,
Yep.
I want this or I want that, and then it's like I want to just steal it. It was like the easy way, you know, the fast way. Like, bam, I got to a point where, like like my black market was people in my neighborhood where I grew up at who used to make requests, like, hey, you know, they got the new this and that or whatever. If you come across one, and it's like, in other words, you're telling me like, get you one, and you got me. So it was like, all right, well, I got a job to do,
Yep.
you know. So it was just like that. It was I guess it was very gratifying to do during those times when you know, things weren't that great. Things
Yeah.
weren't that great in life, and so being able to do that and kind of reward yourself and get a kick out of it, and at the same time, I'm thinking like I'm doing a service here because I'm looking out for somebody that's requesting something, so I'm feeling good, like I'm doing a good deed, you know. When in reality, like, I'm breaking the law, I'm committing crime, I'm freaking causing money to stores and people and things like that. But it's just that distorted thinking, you know.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? I want to share with I want to share a funny story with you. Well, I think it's funny. I don't know if other people find it funny. So right here in the room that I stream from, I got like a bunch of different, I'll just call it memorabilia, prison memorabilia. I got a CDCR prisoner jacket. I got 2 payphones. I got one of the little blue payphones, the prison payphones, and then I got a one that's all silver. And I told my wife, you know what? I was like, hey, I'm gonna buy these phones. And my wife looks at me. She's like, yeah. She looks at me like, yeah, you're crazy. Like, but she don't tell me that. She just gives me that look. She's like, oh, okay, yeah, uh-huh. So next thing you know, I get packages and I got a phone. She's like, what are you gonna do with that? I'm gonna put it up on the wall. She's like, for what? So people could call me. What do you mean for what?
Damn.
So you know, I know there's something wrong with me. I don't have to go for a professional for that. I know there's something, you know, it's not everything's not computing up here, but you know, that's just me, you know. But I also have, and they can't see it on here, but I got a LA County, one of the blues, the county blues.
Oh yeah, the county blues. Oh man, yeah.
So
yeah, those are golden right there.
Yeah. Hey, so everything I got up there, I bought, except for those county blues. Those county blues, that's my trophy right there. One of the last times that I hit county, maybe it was like in 2000. I think it was 2000 the last time. And this had never happened to me before. All the county blues that I always get, they were all those mascados, all dirty, all worn, all ugly. They were ugly. And one time I was up in Wayside. They had moved us, from Wayside, from Supermax. They moved us over to somewhere else. I forgot where. And they ended up giving.
Llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
And they gave us brand new rolls, and they gave us brand new county blues. And that's like hitting jack. That's like I won lottery in county jail, because I've never got anything new in county. Yeah. Everything was all used up, ugly, just ugly. So when I got those blues, the first thing that came to my mind, I was like, I'm taking these home with me. I'm not gonna leave these blues. No way can I leave these here. And sure enough, the day came that I was gonna get released. You know, they put you in those tanks in county where they move you from one to the other. You go like through like 50 freaking different what do you call it, holding tanks in county.
Tanks.
Yeah, the tanks. And then and I was in my prime right there. That's when I was coming up all day every day. So I was like a professional. I was like, man, okay, I got it. I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put my boxers. I'm gonna keep the county pants on. I'm gonna roll up the legs. So that's what I did. I rolled up the legs. I put my boxers over the county blues, because I used to wear large. Not only was I wearing baggy pants, I was also wearing big boxers like 3 times. Un panzón, and I'm like 130 pounds. And so, and then the shirt, I folded it up really nice. Y me la colgué adentro, like inside my legs of my pants. And then I was like, fuck, if I get caught, I'm probably gonna get a new charge of stealing like county property or whatever. I'm like, but whatever, whatever happens. I'm taking these with me, and sure enough, I made it home with my county blues, and I've held on to them for the last 24. Damn, it's been 24 years. There's something wrong with me, and so I got it up in the wall.
Right?
So that's the story behind those county
Le
blues.
queda un restante de 60 segundos.
That's the only thing that I didn't buy that I actually worn, that were with me when I was up in county, back in a different lifetime. Obviously I don't participate in anything anymore, but that's a constant reminder of the places that I have been, and being in those places, you got like these memories and these like this connection to this place that not everybody has a connection to. People go to war, people go to Yale. I went to LA County Jail and I got some county blues.
Yeah, man. Hey, those are definitely a trophy. I mean, I don't blame you for still having them, because it's like everybody wants those blues when getting out or.
Isn't a hang up? Isn't a hang up? Yeah.
All right.
We're down to like 5 seconds.
All right, I'll call you back.
All right, thank you.
All right.
All right, so they definitely need to extend the time length on these phone calls. Man, this would run a lot smoother if we were just able to do one call and just run it till the wheels fall out. But unfortunately, Garbage Tail Link doesn't, or better known as GTL, doesn't allow that. But anyhow, so if you're wondering where I got those county blues, those were my county blues when I was up in county. One of the last times I was there, over 24 years, man. I'm getting up there. But I could tell you this, I don't miss any of that stuff. The county jail, man, horrible. Freeway Freddy, the Grey Goose. What is it? Here we go.
This call is now being
Global
recorded.
Telling. Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
Eric Fuentes.
un individuo encarcelado en de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5. Gracias por utilizar Global Tel Link.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, man. You were talking about the county blues. Yeah, it's like. But you know what? That started even before then, because I remember going to the halls, and even at the halls, I remember I came up on an HRO suit. I came up on some pants. I came up on the white T-shirt. I came up on a CJH house sweater. So, I would always.
Yeah.
It's like, I think everybody. Well, I know my friends were doing it, so I was doing it too. So we're mimicking each other, emulating or copying each other on the things that we would do.
Yeah.
So you mentioned a moment ago, so that people put in their requests, so you would have a list of whatever they wanted. So pretty much were you shoplifting at this time, and just getting these things, and you were making money off of it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was making money, but it was crazy was that it wasn't really even for the money,
It was about the feeling.
It was just the act of doing it and getting away with it that kind of was like the biggest prize or the biggest reward, And so I was feeling like I would steal CDs, DVDs. I mean, I know all that stuff is like kind of non-existent now, right? But during those times, it was like they got the new whoever was popping at the time.
Yeah.
I want that CD, or can you give me this CD, or I think this movie just came out, and it was like, can you give me that?
Yeah.
And so, so I was like, and then I remember this was probably like late in the 2000s too, though, but when they came out with this little iTunes thing that you could hook up your iPod to your stereo. Like I was getting a gang of requests for those. right? And even clothes, shoes, like all kinds of stuff. Like they just wanted freaking gear, you know, like whatever they could get for a cheap price. It was like if you could get that, you know, slide it, you know, I got you and things like that. And so I was doing that, and I mean, even but as a kid though, I used to steal the most, was like, which was crazy, was I used to steal a lot of stationery.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
I wanted the coolest lead pencil, right? The coolest freaking pins and freaking like things like that. And it was crazy because it was like, you're not even using them, you know, like you ain't doing no work. Like what the hell, you know, what you stealing all this for? But you wanted it, you know? And so, yeah, man,
Hey,
it was little things like that.
so
Yeah.
so you used to have, man, so you had to have one of these. I don't remember the brand of the pen, but it was like a chrome pen, and it would come like in this clear box, and they were like, oh man, I think they were like $20. They used to sell them at Staples, man. And I remember, yeah, and you're right. Like I used to come up on a lot of stationaries too, you know, and I wasn't writing any letters. I was just to have a cool ass pencil, you know. I was gonna get a number, like I was gonna pop out with my
Yeah.
little chrome pencil or chrome pen,
Yeah.
looking all like super
Yeah.
firme.
Yeah, like what? Like my shit, you know, it shakes. I could shake it, you know. It has a little thing inside of it, you know, the little markers and things like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it felt good to have these kind of things, you know, because I mean, growing up too.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
Not having like all the things that some of your peers have kind of made you want these things as well, you know. And so it was like, well, I'm just gonna spend it because my parents can afford it, you know. So that's just what I'm gonna do, and
Yeah.
just to keep up, you know, with your classmates and things like that, and just to stand out at the same time too. Like yeah, I just stole this, you know. Like check this, look what I got, and I got it for free. And so it was just a good feeling, man. A good feeling to feel like you fit in and like you like worth something, you know.
Yeah. And you know what? And I'm gonna mention something because maybe you could relate, because you know we were doing some of the same things. So you know, when people would, you know, they would hear about it, you know, like some people, like whatever way they would find out, it would come back to you like the word, like, hey, I heard you guys came up like on 50 colognes. Like, damn, hell yeah, how did you guys do it? Like, hey, come on, like, tell me. And you'll be like, oh, hell yeah, like, yeah, these fools, like, they don't know what's up. Like, that's why they're coming to me to figure out, you know, how to do it. You were getting that praise, that recognition, and it definitely it would boost your ego.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, yeah, like, you know, and what's crazy was that, like, they would ask these things, like, I was just doing things bluntly, like, I didn't have, like, no strategies or anything like that, but I would sometimes come up on, like, 50 Levi's, and they'd just be like, damn, like, how'd you get all that? It's like, I ran in the store and grabbed them, like, you know what I mean? Just pure balls and things like that. And so, and then they'll give you props, and then, you know, freaking, like, how much for a pair? And it's like, oh, I don't even trip, like, it seems like $20, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're not even doing it for the money, you know?
Yeah.
Except, you know, like, eventually it turned into that when, like, to support, you know, my drug habits and things like that, further on. But yeah, man, that recognition definitely played a part too, you know? Like, you just wanted to prove, like I'll say I statement, like, I wanted to prove, like, how crazy I was, or how down I was, or, like, what I was willing to do, that people were just like, damn, like, this is crazy, you know, like, damn, how the hell, like, and just based on that, like, I kind of rode a high off of it, you know, like, yeah, like, I did that, you know, and it's fun to think about it now. It's just so ridiculous, you know. But back then it was like, yeah, you know, it was like yeah, I did that, you know. But yeah,
And let me
it's
ask you.
ridiculous.
So
Uh-huh.
you know, when you're doing all this, did you ever get caught up? Did you ever get caught up by loss prevention, or were the cops ever called on you? Was there any repercussions
Yeah,
for?
yeah. When I was in I got caught. I got caught once. I got caught once when I was in the 5th grade. And like I said, I don't know. I guess because of how I grew up, like most of my peers, they were like at least a year or two older than me, and so they were older than me, you know. And so I used to hang out with one of my neighbors who was like a couple years older than me, like probably like a year or two. But he would every time we'd get out of school, like I said, we'd get out of school and nobody would be home until like a couple hours later. So you had
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
so we would have time to go do whatever we would want. And like on them occasions when there would be like an early day, and we would get out like at 1:30 or something like that, or 2:30. I can't remember no more. But I remember that we always used to like our thing was like, hey, let's go. Would walk up and would be like, let's go through to back then it was Thrifties.
Mhm.
I don't know,
Yep.
Thrifties. And it turned to Rite Aid eventually, but we'd be like, let's go to the Thrifties or the Luckies and let's go see what we could get. So that was like our routine. Like we'd get out like on them early days, we'd get out, we'd go over there and freaking and come up and then get away with it and things like that. Well, eventually after doing it so many times, like you said, loss prevention, on one of them occasions, and we thought we were slick too. Like we had like little, we'd be in the store and one would be like at the end of the aisle, and then one would be in the middle of the aisle doing their thing, and then we had like little keywords, you know, little warning signs, like he'll say like you know, like in Spanish, like when you tell somebody ducha, it'd be like aguas, right? Like
Yeah.
like aguas, like ducha, right? So it would be stupid too, but it'd be like water. We'd just say it in English, water, you know, like like what the hell, you know? But yeah, and so we would do that, and on one of them occasions, man, it just didn't turn out like we wanted to. We were spilling all kinds of stuff. We got like flannels, colognes, 3 flowers, lead pencils, all kind. I mean, our backpacks were packed, you know, to the bridges, and it was like, all right, let's roll. And when it came time to leave, we made it out the store, but then there was like these 2 guys in front of the store, and I remember them asking my friend like, hey man, what's up, man? Are you guys interested in buying a wallet? And my friend looks and he stops, and then I'm thinking like, ooh, a wallet, right? And I had money on me too, so it kind of did pique my interest too. After I had stolen all this stuff, I'm just like, oh, I could buy a wallet now, you know, like I have like all kinds of stuff. And so I ended up, we ended up stopping and turning back, and then the dude just pulls out the wallet and flips it open, and he has like a little badge and shit, and I'm just like, damn. And he's just like, all right, man, you guys come here and snatch this up. And yeah, they took us to the back of the store, and I was just like, oh shoot, like what the hell just happened? Like I'm blaming my friend. It's your fault. Like why you even stop, you know? But at the same time, I was interested in the damn wallet my damn self for whatever reason. And yeah, man, and so they took us to the back of the store, and freaking whatever they were at the time, I don't know what they were, securities, cops. Like to me, it was just like, oh shit, authority, you know. And they took us back there, and then they just freaking started patting us down and just taking all our stuff and finding like things. I was so scared that after they had emptied out my backpack and took all the stuff out of my waist and my pockets and things like that, they were done, and I was just like, I had shit in my shoes. You know, I'm telling you, I was loaded, and I'm just like, hey, I got this too, you know, and I'm like trying to come clean now because I got caught and things like that, and yeah, man, and they had us there, and my friend was all nervous. He was. Hey, we were both scared, you know. We were both scared. We were like, he probably was in like, I was in 5th grade, so he must have been in like 6th, I think, at the time, and they had us hands up, man. We were caught, and I can't remember like the questions they were asking us or things like that, but I remember them telling me like what's your address, what's your phone number, we gotta call your parents to come pick you up and things like that, and they're just like, and if your parents can't come pick you up, then we have no choice but to take you to juvenile hall, right? We're gonna have to take you in. And I'm just like, damn. I'm like, at that time, I'm just like, I definitely gonna have nobody to come pick me up because our parents are at work. There's no way you're gonna get a hold of them.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm just like, damn, I'm super scared. I'm just like, damn, I'm going to the halls, you know, and at that time, what is like 5th grade is like what, 9, 10 years old, I think. I'm not sure, but
Yeah. About
so young, you know. Yeah, and man, and so they're calling my dad. They're calling my house. I'm hoping my dad gets home, but he don't get home till like 4 sometimes. And since we kind of got out early, it was early, so he wasn't getting
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
They weren't finding him, and then I'm just right there like shit out of luck, like, damn, I'm super scared. I'm like, I'm going to jail. I'm like, man, I'm blaming my friends and things like that. And yeah.
hey, let me ask you something.
Like,
So was your mom was she like the typical Sabi moms, you know, mal hablaba bien feo, or was she how did she speak? Because I could already imagine if your mom was one of those salvadoreñas, y mira la gran puta, me las vas a pagar, pinche animal, you know?
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about too, man. That's typical for sure.
Hey, call back.
However, man,
it's about to
I'll
cut
call you
off.
back. I'll call you back.
All right, cool.
All right.
Hey, you know what? It's funny because when I talk Spanish, I know I don't sound like I'm Salvadorian, and that's because, well, I grew up in LA. You know, most of my homies they were Mexicanos, so most of the people I spoke to in Spanish was Mexicans, and then my mom, she didn't speak like the typical, you know, Salvadoreña. You know, she didn't have that verbiage, like no hablaba así. So, but I had a tia, man, mi tia Rosa. Oh man, she man, her Salvadorian level was straight 10. You know, she was on it, like the way she spoke. It was embarrassing, embarrassing. Now I laugh at it, and it's funny because you know, my lady, she's Salvadorian, so I'm always giving them carrilla. I'm always saying I remember this last time we went to El Salvador. When we were at the airport, we had a layover in Atlanta, and I heard there was this girl. I don't know. I think she might have been autistic, and she kept on saying "come mierda." And then I heard her, and I was like, oh shit. So then that on the whole trip, the whole Salvadorian trip, that's what I was saying. Everywhere it went, come mierda. And then we went to visit my wife's aunt, and then they were talking. They were having like a real like this lady, like she's reserved. She don't talk like that. So they're having like a real All right. Back to the regularly scheduled programming, mi gente.
Esta es Global Telling. Usted
This call
tiene
is
una
now being
Eric
llamada prepagada de
Fuentes.
un individuo encarcelado de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5. Gracias por utilizar Global Tel Link.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
okay, so you're about to say something because I was asking how your mom spoke, and the reason I asked that is
Right.
because my mom didn't speak like that. Like my mom didn't talk. She didn't speak like a
Yeah.
Salvadoreña. I had an aunt. Tenía una
Right.
tía Rosa. Oh man, when she used to talk, it was embarrassing. Like oh man, oh mi tía Rosa.
Yeah,
No.
like, yeah.
But embarrassing. But go ahead.
For sure. No, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, man. Cause yeah, man, I be tripping out on that too, you know. But nah, man, my mom, she wasn't like that either. She was very calm, cool, and collected. God rest her soul, man. She was a very regulated mom. Like at times where it was like where she would like lose it, like she didn't know what to do. Then like every now and then it would come out, but for the most part she wasn't. No era malcriada, pues así.
Yeah.
Her
Su modo, yeah.
Her lingo wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, her style wasn't like that. She was very soft spoken and respectful and like well mannered and things like that. And yeah, but every now and then they're like when I used to see her argue with my dad and my mom argue. Oh yeah, then right there I used to see all that. I used to be like, damn, like poof, like yeah, they used to tell each other the worst things, and they used to be like, poof, like yeah, they heated arguments and things like that. But with us, with me and my older brother, just on occasion, man, like she would get like that, but it had to be something like real serious, where she had it up to here, you know, like and she'd just go off on us. And yeah, we would get some of that language, some of those words thrown at us, like for sure. Like to me, she used to always tell me like ¿qué te crees? You know, like she used to like
Yeah.
all kinds of like little things like that, man. But man, she was the best, man. She was the best. She tried her best, and yeah, man. Yeah, so.
And so your parents were able to pick you up on time before they ended up taking you to the halls?
No, hell nah.
Oh, okay.
Hell nah. So what ended up happening was that fortunately for me, it just seems to have that fortune growing up and like in my life where my friend who I was shoplifting with, his parents lived in the same buildings as I did.
Yeah.
Right, in the same apartment complexes. And so they picked up and they showed up and for my friend and everything, and they were just like, well, we're just going to have to take you in. And then I was just like, well, is there any way where I could just, because they asked for our address and we had identical addresses,
Yeah.
you know, we lived in the same place. So they're just like, so I'm like, well, can't you just release me to his parents? Like, and then they could take me home and to my family and like, can we do that? Like, cause I was scared. I was shitting bricks, you know. I was like, man, like don't take me to jail. Like, can we do something? And then they were just like looking at me, and my friend was just like, yeah, I think my parents will take them with us, and so it just worked out that way where they were just like, well, they're gonna have to sign for you, and I'm just like, well, I mean, the only way to see if they're willing to is asking them, and when they showed up.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
Yeah, when they showed up, they were just like, they were super pissed. First of all, they were hot.
Yeah.
And my friend was talking about my hands about to get put on the
stove.
furnace, and,
Oh.
on the stove,
Yeah.
and all that. And, and he's just like, man, and so they were just like, yeah, we'll freaking sign for him too,
Yeah.
and whatever. And so they signed for me, and luckily, man, they took me home with them, and so they told me like, hey, well, when your parents get home, make sure you tell them what happened, And I was just like, all right, thank you. I was like super grateful. I was like, oh my God, like, thank you so much, whatever. And then as soon as they dropped me off, it was like, whew. I tell my brother's in the house by himself. My parents ain't home still. And I tell my brother what happened. And then he's like, damn. He's like, so what are you going to do? And I'm just like, I don't know. What should I do? And it was like, well, let's talk this out. Let's think this through.
Yeah.
Like, do you think that his parents are going to come tell our mom or come over here and tell our parents, like, did that happen with you? Or like, and I'm like, man, I don't know. And we're just like, well, let's not tell them nothing until they do or something, And so we didn't say shit. I didn't say a damn.
Sucks if the call got disconnected, just because typically so we're 7 minutes into this call right now, so we won't he probably won't be able to call back for another 7, maybe like 7.5 8 minutes. So hopefully that's not what happened, because when it does happen, that's how it normally goes down. But so for those of you that are just joining right now, these calls are actually these calls are in real time. So they're actually happening right now. Today is Monday, April 22nd. Man, it's already April 22nd, 9:43 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And that would be the LA time, if you will. All right. And now he's calling back. Let's see. All right. Hopefully it's him.
This call is now being recorded.
Esta es Global Tel Link. Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
Eric Fuentes.
All right.
un individuo encarcelado en de la prisión estatal de Centinela, Centinela, California.
Smile more. So he's going through his life journey. This would be the first time he's interviewing.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this. Gracias por utilizar Global Tel Link.
Oh man, I was worried there for a minute. The call went dead. Normally, when that happens with these calls, normally they won't be able to call me until once the call has been completed. So even if like let's say we had 7 minutes on the call, the system won't allow you to call for another 7 minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm already knowing.
Yeah.
It'll start saying this call. You have a call still active.
Yep.
And, so I don't know if that's about to start, but we'll see.
Man, garbage Tel Link. They definitely, I don't know. They gotta expand their servers. They gotta do something, because it's that's all bad right there.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
They're like number one in the prison, county jail facilities, detention centers, whatever. They're number one. Like how they're not gonna be able to hold all these calls. Their infrastructure should be able to hold these calls, especially since they got a blank check from California.
Yeah, hell yeah, absolutely. But you know how it goes. It's trying to make the most out of invest the littlest to make the most.
Yeah, you gotta get that vacation home on some remote island somewhere. Gotta get a yacht, helicopter, plane. Well, I don't know. I don't know about it because I can afford it, but I see all these stories about how they're living.
Yeah, I bet, because they're raking in by the millions.
Yep, and especially too because. They offer, for those of you that are not aware, you guys are allowed to make free phone calls right around the world. You could call anywhere, as long as you got a phone number, you got some relative or friend or anywhere in the world, right?
Right. Yeah, I haven't tried calling outside of like California or anything like that, but I'm sure that you could definitely call outside of here as well. Yeah.
Yep. Hey, so okay, so you don't tell your parents about you getting caught shoplifting. Do they ever find out? Do the neighbors ever spill the beans, or what ends up happening?
Yeah. So yeah, like I was saying, was that so I waited, right there with my brother, scared, anxious, nervous, just like, damn, what's gonna happen, and hours passed by, and I'm just like, man, I think I'm gonna be good, like me and my brother, like, I think you're gonna be good, and hell nah, like, come like 7 o'clock at night, like a little later at night, like, you hear the knock on the door, and it's like, once I heard the knock, I was just like, Mom, like, this happened earlier today, and I mean to tell you, but I just didn't know, and by that time, it was just like too late, like, I see the homie's parents right there, like, like, hey, like.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
Like, has your son spoken to you? Has he talked to you about what happened today? And my mom's like, what? And she's looking back at me, like, already with that look, like, what the hell you do this time,
So the call went dead. Pretty much the audio went silent, and that's definitely not a good sign. I know, like, months back it was doing that, and I thought they had got Javier over there to get all the cucharas, the tenedores, all the spoons, the forks, the antennas, and rig up like a super Wi-Fi antenna to cover the whole. Okay, he's calling back. I think he's calling. I think the phone's ringing. It's ringing, but oh snap! Hold on. Oh, hold on. Is my internet acting up? Or is it my internet? Is it me? Could it be? I'm not sure. Hold on. The wrong phone is ringing right now. Okay. So hopefully it calls back right now and it's working. So anyhow, hey, thank you for your patience. Unfortunately, when it comes to these technical difficulties, that's pretty much out of my hand. I have no control over how their system works over there. But let me see. LA Dodger writes, don't the calls go off at a certain time? No, hey, so trip out. So in Centinela State Prison, their tablets stay on 24/7. So sometimes I'll be like, I'll jump on these calls with sometimes with Javier and Silas, and we'll be on like at 2-3 o'clock in the morning sometimes. Because there is no, they don't shut them off. It all depends on. I thought it was like that across the state, but it turns out that every prison, they have like their own program. So here in Centinela, well, at least on D yard, the tablets are on 24/7. I'm not sure about on A, B, and C yards, but I've heard like in other prisons they shut them off like at a 10 or 11. So it varies. It varies. So let me see. I wish SADF. So SADF would be substance abuse. Is that substance abuse? No. Hold on. SADF. I don't even know. Had a good program. All right. I never got that luxury. Well, you right? You just got out, right? Oh, here it is. We're back in the game. We are like EA. It's in the game.
This call is now being recorded.
Usted tiene una
Substance
llamada
abuse
prepagada
treatment
de
center. Okay, I was kind of. Oh, I knew it was something like that.
un individuo encarcelado en de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call.
All right.
Gracias por utilizar Global Tel Link.
Hello.
Hey, yeah.
Man, garbage tail link that's it, man. Hey, we gotta get my boy Javier over there. We need him to get all the cucharas, all the tenedores, all the antenna. Nah, shit, that's probably a bad idea and shit. You can't be having steel. They're gonna think that he's gonna make a fierro or something. I was gonna be like, man, we need him to make we need him to make a Wi-Fi antenna to boost the signal up, so he could or maybe he could make a dish or something. But yeah, they're definitely messing up. Hey, don't grab no cucharas, don't grab no tenedores. It's gonna be all bad, especially if they're metal.
Yeah. Most definitely. Yeah, we need some of that broadband. Couple telephone poles. high-speed internet. Something, man. We need a couple more Wi-Fi boxes or something. I'm not sure, man. But yeah, this thing is something to trip.
Hey, let me ask you something because I know you're in Tehachapi, right? Not too long ago in Tehachapi, because somebody was. What was that?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It
So
was.
somebody was asking me right now. They mentioned on the comments right here on the comments. LA Dodger writes. Let me see, what did he put exactly? I can't find the message, but he's asking if they turn off the tablets at a certain time, and
In Tehachapi?
yeah, well, no, in Centinela. So I was mentioning to it at every prison, they do it differently. They yeah. So in Tehachapi, how do they run the tablets? Do they shut them off at a certain time, or do they keep them on 24 hours, or does it vary by the yard you're on?
I mean, honestly, I couldn't speak on the other yards, but I think it was the same all around on those yards in that prison. But yeah, they would shut off the messaging would be shut off at 11 at night, and then the phone calls would be shut off at 11:30. They wouldn't come back on until the messages wouldn't come back on until 6 in the morning, and then the phones won't be turned on until 8.
Yeah.
And then they'll shut them off again at 11:30 in the morning for count, and then they'll get turned back on again at about 1, and then they'll be shut off again at 4:30 in the afternoon until about like 6, about 6, 5:45, 6, and that was the schedule they had for these tablets over there. But the service was great, like no problems, not like over here. It's just right here it's ridiculous, you know. This service is crap, man, compared to how it was over there. Like we didn't have these problems over there, you know.
You know what? That was up until December. Up until December, I don't know what the hell I don't know if they rewired it backwards or I don't know what the hell. But the system was lovely up until December. Once December came, when they switched it from GTL to Viapath, once they switched over to Viapath, it was all bad. It was
Right.
it was bad news.
Yeah, that's what I heard too, man. But even over there when they switched it to Viapath, it didn't have that effect, you know. So I still don't know what the reasons or why it's like that here, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was yeah, that's my understanding of it too. Like it was great with GTL here, and then they did this switch, and it just all went to crap. So it is what it is, you know.
Shit. Well,
we make with what we have.
Yeah. Well, this time we made it back past the 4-minute mark, so we're definitely on the right track right now. Hey, so okay. Hey, so the vecina comes over. She's boom, 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 and then you tell your jefa that what happened. What ends up transpiring after that?
Oh yeah, after that it was like really no. It's been you know, I already knew what I had coming. Like, take your ass in that corner, get on your knees, and got my ass whooped, pretty much. You know, just took it like a good boy, and just, you know, faced the music, and then that was pretty much it, man. Like, I got my ass whooped, I got some scolding, and then after that, I don't remember too much of like being grounded. Are you still on?
Yeah, we're here. Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, yeah, because this thing now has me traumatized now because I don't even know if it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. You're there. Hello. Are you still there? And it's 10 minutes into the call, and yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah, ain't nobody there. Yeah. So, you know what I mean? And so, yeah, but I don't really remember getting grounded like that. Like, oh, you can't come out for a week or anything like that, because I don't think my parents, I mean, during the time, they really didn't have the time to do those kind of things. You know, they were always working, they were always busy, it was always something, you know. And so, as far as like getting grounded, I probably didn't watch TV for like a few days or something like that while they were home. But aside from that, it was like...
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
It was like back to normal, you know? And but I did get enough of a scolding and ass whooping to where after that day I was like, I'm never shoplifting again. At least I told myself, like, I was like, that's it. Like, I'm good. I've learned my lesson. Like, I'm not gonna do it again. And so I had stuck to that. I had stuck to that for a little bit until like influences and one of my biggest influences was my older brother. I always wanted to make him proud. I always wanted to I never wanted to let him down, things like that. And so it started all over again after like trying to hold back for like, I don't know, I probably lasted about a month where I wasn't stealing nothing from stores, and I wasn't even tempted to or thinking about it until like my brother was just like, and then we were his friends too, and they were all like pumping me up like, hey fool, like grab this or grab that, and I'm just like, and I'm trying to tell him like nah man, like I'm cool, like I ain't doing that no more. But he's like, what? Like, are you serious? Like, come on, man, like, And so it was just like the peer pressure, and then not wanting to look like a weenie or not accepted or whatnot. So it was like I try, you try as much as you can until it's just like, you know what, screw it, because so much peer influence, peer pressure, so much peer pressure that it's like, screw it, then like, I'll do it this one time, and then that's it, and that one time it just started the ball rolling again, and after that that's just what it was. It's like, that was like the only time I ever got caught, and after that it's just, I didn't get busted again for it, and it just continued on, and just ultimately progressed, to bigger things, cars and stereos and freaking, you name it. If I could get my hands on it, if it ain't stuck to the ground, it's gone,
And during this time, you're still living in the valley, right? You're still in Van Nuys, right?
Oh yeah. Matter of fact, those apartment complex where I moved to, I lived there from 91 up until 2006 when I got incarcerated for my crime. Yeah.
2006. Yeah. Okay. Oh man.
Yeah, I lived there for like 91, like about 15 years. Like, I grew up there. Like, that was my home. Like, that's where it was, all my life. That's all I knew.
And how were you doing in school during this time? You're out. You
know what? Surprisingly, right? I always considered myself to be a smart kid, and so I did good in school. I got in trouble, but I was like, during my elementary years, like, I kept good grades. I did my homework and things like that, but it wasn't hard or nothing. And during that time, I was doing good. I even got suspended one time in second grade for smoking in the bathroom, just hanging out with the wrong crowd. But in that one I never told my mom about, and that one she never found out about either, and I got away with that one too. But I was able to do that, but I was still like, I don't know, elementary wasn't that hard to like not pass, I guess. It wasn't until like middle school where I started messing up bad, like 7th and 8th grade, but started failing classes and getting a bunch of U's back then, because back then it was like FUUs or ABs or AEE or whatever, however they graded it, if I remember correctly. But my grades started like going down like in middle school. Yeah.
And was that due to like the activities you were doing, or your friends, or your lack of interest in school? What was it that affected, started affecting your grades?
Man, so yeah, at that time, what really, I guess what I would attribute to my grades dropping and things like that was that I started smoking weed, man. I started getting high. I became a pothead. I became a major pothead, and I was hanging out with like-minded individuals, potheads as well. Started ditching, not going to class. Like, we spent whatever time we could or got away with smoking weed and smoking pot, and like not caring about nothing else other than being high and laughing it up and enjoying it. And so I think I know most definitely, and so that's why I have like a bias against weed, even though I know now it's legal. I know that, and it's cool that it's legal for for adults, but for me it was definitely a gateway drug, and that's what pretty much started it all. And what's crazy was that the way that I started smoking weed was that before I started smoking weed, I was freaking getting high off like I don't know if you remember, like computer cleaners or like inhalants, freaking wizards and things like that. And I was using that with my friends that I had made in school, those that were like me, that had a lot of free time in their hands, didn't have much of great role models in the household, and that's just what they got into. And so those were the crowd that I hung around with. And so I started doing that first, and eventually my brother caught wind of it by this time, and also during these younger years of mine, I was already like getting involved with like cliques and crews from like my neighborhood where I lived at, like all the kids from my block where we all lived at that had all that like free time, and they were like us, were latchkey kids, and spend the majority of the time in the streets. We were already like making crews and giving each other nicknames and things like that, and hung out. And
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
just was already involved in that kind of activity from a very young age, and so I gravitated towards that lifestyle at a very young age, and followed through in middle school, and then my brother, he was a part of things as well, that lifestyle as well. And so I think I gotta call you back, huh?
Yeah. It's yep.
Okay, I'll hit you back up.
Okay, we'll be here. We'll be waiting.
All right.
So, hey, I just saw the comment from Wifey. She put on there, I want that LA County uniform so bad. So, man, I've had that county uniform since 2000. Man, Hey James, what is he down for? You know what? I think, if I remember correctly, don't quote me on this, I think he might be in for one hot one and for 3 attempted hot ones, if that makes any sense. Did you yourself, or let me see. Old Lovely Sunshine puts, did you yourself serve time? I've been to county jail back in the early 2000s. I think the last time I had county jail was in 2001. and I came home in 2002. I got a county lid, but I never went to, fortunately for me, I never went to prison. I decided to switch it up before it got to that point.
Esta es
This call is
Global
now being
Telling.
recorded.
Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
Eric Fuentes.
un individuo encarcelado en de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Gracias por utilizar Global Telling.
All right. Hey, thank you, Eric, for calling back.
Yeah.
All right. So we got a question on TikTok. We got a question in TikTok from LA Dodger, and he wants to know what was your relationship with your parents.
Okay, so for my parents, well, I mean, my mom, she was the best, man. She was definitely the nurturing one, the nurturing kind. We got along well, me and my mom.
Nah, man. Garbage Tail Link strikes again. Man down. So let's. Okay, we're back. I thought we lost you there for a moment.
Yeah, it's starting to do its thing. It's starting to do its little stuff again. But
yeah,
did I go?
Yeah, no, you're good. You're still here.
Okay. No, yeah, the relationship with my mom was great. We got along well. We shared everything. She did her best to like try to keep me on the right path. Be a great role model. She was the best role model I had, but it was just that I wasn't looking for that type of role model. I was looking more for like a male role model, father figure, and things like that. And so my dad, on the other hand, he was very absent. He was there, but he wasn't there. Like he was very I mean, how would you describe it without like it's hard, right? Because you're not trying to bash your parents, especially when they're no longer here, you know. But my dad, he was an alcoholic, man, and so our relationship didn't quite. We got along and things like that, but it was like if he didn't have his alcohol, then it wasn't good in the household. You know, it was there for the smallest things. You're getting your ass whooped and things like that, and so with my dad, we never really had like a close relationship like that, like to where, as I wanted, because like I grew up watching like Family Matters and Home Improvement and like the family shows like that, right? And so to me, that was the idea, that the concept of what a family looked like, and so that's kind of what I.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
To be like with me, you know, but it wasn't. It was very abusive. It was very disconnected. He didn't really quite make time for us like that. Only times that like that we would spend together would be like him taking me out with so he could go drink with his friends. Like my mom would like, well, you got to take care of your kid, you got to take care of your sons or whatever. And he'll be like, well, I just take him with me then, and then he'll take me with him, and I just go witness some more stuff, like him just getting freaking.
All right, so I'm not sure if you could hear me, but if you could hear me, the audio went out. Hopefully it comes back. Once again, garbage Tail Link. Hopefully, okay, you're back. I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
You hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yeah, so our relationship really wasn't that great. I mean, we got along and things like that, but it just wasn't that type of
Oh no, it looks like it's acting up again. If you could hear me, then I can't hear you. And happy Juarez 163. Okay, I think you're back again. Yeah, you're back.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Yep, yeah. Via path, baby. Yeah, that's that's what it is. Man. But yeah, so I mean, our relationship was cool, but it wasn't a father son type of relationship or one that I expected. It was a lot of selfishness on my father's part. You know, like it seemed like he didn't really care too much about his kids, and really just focused like on being with my mom and alcohol and you know just living that lifestyle. Like I want to say like what's that there's a song, man, that I relate to him. But yeah, it wasn't too great, you know. It wasn't too great because of the way he treated us and things like that. But he always I think he always he cared about us, but I think that he was also dealing with his stuff too, and he kind of, you know, didn't know any better than to cope with the way he did, and so that's just the kind of stuff that we end up having experience growing up with an alcoholic father like that. But mom's was great. Mom's was always great, super supportive, things like that. And I say like I suffered from unintentional emotional neglect, because if they had the time or energy or space to be there for us, my mom at least, I think she would. But it's just, you know, the way that life happens, it just doesn't turn out that way. And so sometimes, you know, like they say, that the kids are the ones that pay the price for it the most. And so I think that's what kind of...
Man, okay. So once again, the audio went out. Oh, we can't hear you. Hopefully, if you can hear me, you're aware that we can't hear you, and hopefully it comes back. Okay, we're back.
Okay, we're back. Yeah. Okay, I don't even know if you heard anything. Were you able to hear me?
Yeah, we heard you. It went out for maybe I would say maybe 5 seconds.
Okay. Okay, so we back on.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay.
I be thinking too that I was probably like my dad's favorite, but
once da da da. I need to put my sound effects. Let me see if I got my sound effects working over here. See, are they working? Oh no, hold on, they're not working. Let me see. I didn't open something up here. Anyhow, okay, you're back now. You're back. Yeah, so we lost you, man. Man, yeah. GTO is really sticking it to me today. We got a question here from LA Dodger. I mean, it is. I mean, unfortunately, you know, we don't have any control over it. You know, we're pretty much at their mercy. But you know what? Hey, maybe
right.
they're doing this so they could go ahead and offer a paid service where you get priority. You get that A1 service. They're like, all right, yeah, the state offers free, but hey, we got this other new exciting plan that for $59.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
For $59.99, your service you get
yeah.
Imagine that.
we got the deal. We got the deal for you right now.
Yeah.
You know, call now. You know, you get a couple free extra months and all that. But you know, I'm tired of dealing with with some problems, you know,
Yeah.
contact us now. You're no longer, yeah.
Man,
For real.
they're about to come up with something like that. If they haven't, hopefully their representatives are not listening, because this might be the latest thing, and everybody's gonna blame me. But so we got LA Dodger, and he's asking, was your dad physically abusive?
Yeah, absolutely. He was very abusive. He was very abusive to our family. And that's just how he was. It was like for the smallest things, you know, like especially like if he wasn't, you know, if he wasn't drinking, or if he didn't have a beer in his hand, it's like he wasn't in a good mood oftentimes. So it was like during those weekdays when, you know, he had to work and things like that, and he really couldn't afford to be going out drinking and partying and things like that. It was like we'd get the business during those days, you know, because he wasn't having it. He wasn't in the best moods. He was very, very abusive towards me and my brother, as well as my mom. You know, yeah, man, it was just a very unfortunate situation that we grew up in, and so many other families. You know, I can't say like my story's special, or like it stands out, but that's just what it was. Absolutely.
Yeah, but you know what? Man, it's and I could speak for myself on this. I'm not sure if any other people could relate, but you know, like you, my mom came from El Salvador. You know, she came from another country that obviously was in shambles. It wasn't a good place to be at that time. And like yourself, I was also a latchkey kid. So my mom, you know, she was out working, you know, to keep a roof over our head, and keep us clothed, and you know, food in the refrigerator and whatnot. And pretty much we were left to our own devices. You know, we had to fend for ourselves, you know, from an early age. You
Absolutely.
know, and I fell into the trap, you know, because I didn't know any better. You know, like, hey, my friends want to go do this. Hell yeah, let's do it. You know.
Yeah.
So I don't blame my mom. You know, she did what she could, and now, you know, where I'm at in my life, the things I went through, absolutely, I wouldn't let my kids, you know, go through that. Just because, you know, I know living in these places, man, it's hard, it's difficult, it's not easy, you know, going through these things, you know, having to, you know, we used to live. I lived in a gang infested neighborhood, and there was 2 buildings that were controlled by the local neighborhood where I lived, and I knew this. So what I used to do, you know, to avoid them, because I didn't want to have nothing to do with these guys. I would jump. There was like this big old wall in the back of my building. I would jump that wall every day, just so I would have to interact with them.
Right.
That yeah, because I mean, look, like, first of all, it wasn't a gang that I would want to be from. And I don't know if you could relate to this, but like all my homies, they weren't born here, but they assimilated into American culture. And what I mean by that, it's you know, they spoke English, and they related to us, opposed to, you know, Spanish speaking people that were here. And that local gang that was there, that's what, you know, the way they carried themselves, it wasn't something, as crazy as it sounds, it wasn't something that I was interested in, you know, in being part of.
Oh, right.
So
Right, yeah, most definitely.
So
Yeah, I can relate to that.
Yeah. But now, you know, I love speaking Spanish now. It's funny, you know, how that works out. It's as myself, you know, as I got older, you know, I got more comfortable speaking Spanish. But during that time, you know, when I was growing up, there's no way you catch me speaking Spanish. The only person you catch me speaking Spanish to was my mom, because I mean,
I think you just cut off.
Oh, okay. Well, hopefully, you know, you're able to. Yeah. All right. Well, I could hear you, and whenever it comes back on.
You probably hear me, but I can't hear you.
Yep. That's exactly.
You bad.
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
So, Okay, hey, so call back. Hopefully you can hear me. I'm just gonna I'm gonna cut it right now. And so for Felons for Christ, is that guy on the phone a lifer? Yeah, he is. He is a lifer. If I remember correctly, and don't quote me on this, when I spoke to him before, doing the interview, which was I think on Thursday or Friday, I think he had told me he was sentenced to, I want to say like 150 years to life. I might be off by a year or two, but I know it was in the hundreds that he got sentenced to with the life sentence. I believe, if I remember correctly, also he went back to court. He was able to get resentenced under being a youthful offender. So I think he still has a life, but they reduced the years. But he's been down since 2006. And let me see. BB Girl C, do you know these people on the phone? No, I do not. No. So, okay, he's calling back.
This call is now being
Esta es
recorded.
Global Telling. Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
Eric Fuentes.
un individuo encarcelado en de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5. Gracias por utilizar Global Telling.
Hello.
No.
All right, Eric. Hey, so right now I was going through the comments on TikTok, and I had to go look at it because we have a comment from Felons for Christ, and he writes, I was a lifer and was not supposed to go to the parole board until 2048. If you program and change your life, I'm guessing he was gonna put, but the message ended up cutting off because I think you could only put a certain amount of characters on these messages. But I believe I want to say also he put on here, I did 9 years on a 34 to life sentence, and then he just got out 4 months ago. He's been out. Yup. All right, so the phone went dead. Ask him if he was a coming parole board hearing. I'll ask him right now when he calls back. I think if I remember correctly, I need to stop saying that. Anyhow, hey, Eric, are you back on?
Yeah.
I'm here. So Felons for Christ wants to know. Ask him when his upcoming parole board hearing. When is your BPH hearing?
Shoot. Yeah, you just cut off, but I'm thinking.
Man, a double whammy. Yeah, so he was gonna go ahead and try to answer. So okay, so somebody asked me earlier on, do I know these gentlemen that come on that are coming on? Do you have these people on the phone? Yeah. So okay, so I don't know them. No, I don't know them personally. Like prior to doing these interviews, I have never met anybody. And I can hear you. You're back on, right, Eric?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you want to take it over with the question from Felons for Christ.
Felons for Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. No, yeah, I go to board in by the grace of God. Actually, I was supposed to see board. I got sentenced to 170 years to life in when I got convicted.
Hold on.
Unfortunately,
you said 170 or 107?
170 years to life. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man, I thought for some reason I thought it was like 157, but man, yeah, that's pretty much, if you get sentenced to that type of time, it's pretty much a death sentence. I mean, nobody's gonna live to 170 years.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely not. Yeah, that's a wrap. It was like that was my sentence initially, and I lived with that sentence up until like 2016, 15 when the SB Senate Bill 261 came in for the youth offenders, and I was so I was given a youth offender parole date of 25 to life. So now I go to board in 2030.
2030. Okay, so which we're in 2024, so in about 6 years. But right now, there's a lot of changes, right, coming up where they're actually changing some laws or programs where they're able to push your date up, right?
Yeah, no, yeah, for sure. There's all kinds of stuff, but even besides that, like, I spend my time trying to do everything in my power to get time knocked off, to earn, freaking milestone educational merit credits, to get stuff times took off my YOP, and like things like that. And so I've been programming for a good minute now, like really programming, committed to the lifestyle of recovery.
All right, so the audio went out. So if you're able to hear me, it's
yeah, I could hear you.
Hey, BB Girl C put, he sounds cute. Is he single?
No, I am not. I'm not. I have a lovely, beautiful girl who I love. Her name's Liz, and so yeah, I'm definitely not single.
All right, you heard that, ladies. You heard it here first. He's not single, and he's not ready to mingle.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. We could hear you. And Marlene, so he's 37. He's 37. LA Dodger, but girl, don't you have a man already? Oh man, you guys are cracking me up on these with these comments over here. All right, Eric, you're back on, right? Or maybe not. So man, these BBC girl writes, LA Dodger, you don't know me, man. All right, so I'm waiting for this call to reconnect. Man, it's been it was man. I thought we were gonna have an uneventful night tonight. We were gonna have a nice little call, a nice little interview. Have Eric share his journey with us.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
But it doesn't look like that's gonna be happening tonight. I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect the call, and hopefully he's able to call us back. All right, and there you go. You heard the disconnection tone there. But anyhow, okay. So I know somebody asked me earlier on if I knew these gentlemen, and no, so I don't. So what ended up happening was the following. I had a friend. All right. This was this happened about 2 years ago. So we're 2024 right now. This happened back in 2022. He was up in Pelican Bay. All right, he's calling back.
This call is now being
Esta es
recorded.
Global Tel-Link. Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
Eric Fuentes.
un individuo encarcelado en de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5. Gracias por utilizar Global Tel-Link.
Hello, Eric.
Yeah, we're back.
Oh man. Garbage tail link is all bad. It's all bad today.
Tell me about it.
Is it raining or is the wind blowing? I think the wind must be blowing kind of crazy out there. Whenever the wind is blowing, the service starts going out. Yep, the wind's definitely blowing over there at Centinela State Prison. So anyhow, I'll go ahead and fellas, for Christ, tell him to call back in Chinese. Is that even an option? Man, that would be desperate.
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, let me ask you, Eric. It gives you the prompt to call in English and Spanish. Does it give you an option to call back in Chinese? Maybe that'll help.
Right, dude. Yeah, hey, you're in line too, because I've tried both just to see if English, Spanish, all that, man. Yeah, that would be nice. Some kind of freaking relief with these calls, man.
Yeah.
And I think you cut out again.
Man. Yeah, it's not
nice.
So, okay, so I had a buddy. So he was in Pelican Bay. All right, in 2022.
Okay.
Are you back on?
Yeah, I'm on.
Okay, cool, perfect. I just gotta talk about something while whenever it goes dark. So, but we'll go ahead and get go back to your journey here. So you were speaking about school. You were speaking about school, and you spoke about the relationship with your parents. So at what age was your first arrest, or your first contact with the police?
Man, my first contact with the police was very young. I was probably first time I got caught up, I was probably like 14 years old. 14 years old, I was in high school, and yeah, I was a mean old pothead at the time already. By that time, I was like heavily into the weed and freaking just getting high all the time. And I remember too. This was like close to like my 15th birthday. It was about that time, so I was like loaded with weed. I was like, we're gonna celebrate and things like that. And I was hanging out with a few friends from school. And it's a funny story too. I don't even know if you could still hear me. I'm kind of traumatized by this. So
Yeah. No, I can hear you. I can hear you. I'm here.
Yeah. So I freaking So I'm I got my pothead friends from school. We all hang out, and so this was like around my birthday, and it's so funny because we used to always ditch. We used to hit the gate and then just go run across the street, and there was like this little spot. It was called the Bum House that like only certain people knew about. It was like a little exclusive spot where you could ditch to and go get high and stuff like that. And so I remember that day that I was just like, yeah, man, we'll just hit the gate on.
All right. So if you can hear me, your audio just it just went out. It's all bad. All bad. Anyhow, so okay, so if you're able to hear me whenever you're able to hear me and you come back, okay, you're back, right?
I hear you. Yeah. This is But anyhow, yeah. So yeah, we decided to go hit this gate, and so we hit this gate, and it's like two or three of us, and we're walking on the street, and then we're talking about like, yeah, man, if the cops roll up on us, man, I'm gone. Like I'll be out. They ain't gonna catch me. Like I'll hit this fence and I'm gonna do this and that. And the word was like that during that time that there was a lot of patrolling trying to keep down the truancy around that school, right? And so, yeah, man, sure enough, we're walking. We're thinking we're cool. We're already on the street. We're walking, and we're about to go blow some weed and stuff like that. And so as we're talking all this smack about like, yeah, man, if the Hudas roll up on us, man, they ain't gonna catch us and this and that. And then next thing you know, we turn around like to look back to see like what's going on, and it's these two freaking bicycle cops right next to us, like talking about like, what are you talking about? Like, get your asses against the fence, like, oh shoot, like, oh, what the hell? And are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and so man, and so we're over here talking all this big smack about what we're gonna do, and come to find out when push came to shove, these fools we didn't do a damn thing. We got against the fence, put our hands on our head, and yeah, man, and so they hemmed us up and patted us down. Of course, they found me with a fat ass sack of weed. They found my other friend with another sack, and it was just all bad. I was like 14 years old, and yeah, they questioned us, and during that I was just like, damn, I couldn't believe it. Like, what was really going through my head was like, damn, I just lost this fat ass sack of weed. Like, I wasn't even like, I don't know. That's how deep into my addiction I was in, that I was thinking about what I was losing instead of like, man, I'm about to go to jail right now for freaking possession, So that was kind of what was running through my head at the time. And yeah, that was like my first arrest, and they took us to the station, you know, and they kept asking me like, man, you guys, you know, they were even clowning us like, you guys were talking all that talk about what you guys were gonna do, and we're behind you guys for like 5 minutes as you guys are just, you know, yapping off at the mouth, and it's like, and we're just right there feeling.
All right, so the audio went out, and if you can hear me, hey, is Devonshire, right? Devonshire Division up in the valley?
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
So the audio is still out. We're in the dark right now, so I think, is it Devonshire Division? Okay,
Well,
you're back.
You're
back.
Well, the school that I went to,
Yeah.
In that area, it was actually still Van Nuys Station. It was Van Nuys Station, but there is also Devonshire and Valley, West Valley, and San Fernando. Devonshire Division, and West Valley Division, and then Van Nuys Division. And we got caught up by Van Nuys Division during that time. It took me to Van Nuys Station, and yeah, man, I was busted. I was just there, like, it was crazy because even as we were getting booked and arrested and stuff and questioned, my friend, he wanted to keep this from his parents, that when they asked him, like, hey, so what do you have all this weed for, you know? And he's like, I don't smoke. Like, I sell it. And I'm looking at him like, dude, the hell, like, no, dude, you smoke. Like, you don't know, I want to say that you're a drug dealer, you know? Like, come on now. And he's over here like, oh yeah. No, I smoke. And it was like the funniest thing. Thinking back on it now, you know, like, it's so crazy the things we do to just try to get away with things and try not to get caught up with our parents and things like that. But yeah, they ended up arresting us and taking us to Van Nuys Station, and I remember having to call my dad. My dad had come pick me up that time. And yeah, so luckily this time he was actually home. We were able to get a hold of him, and he showed up to pick me up, walk me out the parking lot, and just freaking, he was hot. He was mad. I can't tell you exactly what happened after that. I just remember, like, not really caring around the time. Like, I guess I had been so used to, like, what was coming next that it was just like whatever, like, let's just get on with this, let's get through with this, you know. I'm probably just gonna get my ass whooped. I'm not gonna get, like, no kind of explanation as to why, or like, you know, I'm not gonna get no kind of talk, you know, like, to tell me, like, why I shouldn't be doing this or nothing. It was just like, whoop your ass, I hope you're doing your lesson, don't do it again. And it was like, what lesson, you know? And so yeah, that was my first arrest, about 14 years old. I think I was like in the 9th grade.
And what was the outcome? Did you have to go to court, or was it they just have you? Because I know, like, the first time I got arrested as a kid, maybe like the first 3-4 times that I got arrested, I never had to go to court. Like, a few days later, I would have to go back to the police station and would talk to the detectives, or I don't know exactly what was happening, but they would bring me back, and then the case just pretty much just went away. And no, I wasn't telling for anybody saying, hey, this was like, man, the first time I got arrested was maybe like in 5th grade, like you. I got caught for shoplifting, and I was like 10 or 11 years old. And even the second time I got caught shoplifting, which was when I was 12, same thing happened. You know, I got arrested, ended up going, and a few days later I went back to the police station. They interviewed me, they talked to my mom, and it never went any further than that. So I think maybe I didn't start going to court maybe till like the 3rd or 4th arrest. That's when I started going to juvenile court. Did something similar happen with you also like that, or on your first case did you end up going to court?
Cut out. Yeah, you just cut out. You could probably hear me though.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but if just in case you can, and let me know when you get back on.
Yeah.
Like I can't hear anything right now.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I don't. If I remember correctly, I didn't stay out long enough to. I think I ended up. I think they just let me go with my dad and freaking they let me go with my dad, and I think I probably did the same thing that you did too, like just come back to the station or something like that, and check in with them or something like that. But I can't remember because I think it wasn't too long after that because I believe I was 14.
Yeah.
Nah, actually, you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, no, I can't remember what the hell happened to it. I just know that they let me go to my parents, to my dad, and then I went back to normal. I went back to school, and I don't remember having to go to court or anything like that. But what's crazy was that even after that happened to me, it's funny, so funny. The next day or so, or two, I tried to ditch again, but this time I didn't jump no gate or nothing. I found an open gate in the back of the school that where the buses came through, and I walked out through there, and it was the same freaking bicycle cops again, freaking rolled up on me like, and they just looked at me like, dude, like, what the hell, like, what are you? And I'm just like, oh shit, like, oh man, what's up, man? And they're just like, what are you doing? Like, did you not like learn anything?
All right, so the phone just went dead. All he can, so Felons for Christ writes, all he has to do is find a job to get off close custody. Okay, so I can hear you again. I can hear you.
Yeah. Hey, yeah. And so, yeah, man, and it was like running into these two officers again, and they were just like, they were just tripping out. They were just surprised. They were like astounded, like what the hell? Like, dude, we just busted you like 2 days ago with a bunch of weed, took you in, and
the call went back. It went dark. Garbage Tail Link is
Le
definitely...
queda un restante de 60 segundos.
Garbage Tail Link is definitely testing my patience today. So right now, hopefully we'll have better luck when he calls back.
well,
Okay. Oh, now we can hear you.
I'm still here.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and but they just said that we only got like 60 seconds left, so
Yeah.
I guess I might as well just call back.
Yep.
I don't know if you could
Yep. Call back.
hear me or not.
Hello. All right. So I'm just going to disconnect it and he'll call back. So anyhow, okay. So back to what I was saying. So yeah, I don't know. I don't personally know any of these gentlemen that have come on. Like I was explaining earlier on, I had a friend 2 years ago that was up in Pelican Bay, and he ended up defecting, walking away, throwing in the towel, rolling it up. I mean, I don't know how else to put it. All right. So he ended up leaving, and I think he walked away like about in January 2022, and by March he was in Centinela D Yard. And during this time, we were doing video visits on Sundays. These were the free.
This call is now being
Este es
recorded.
Global Tel Link. Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
Eric Fuentes.
un individuo encarcelado en de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5.
5.
Gracias por utilizar Global Tel Link.
All right. So, okay. So we're back on.
Yeah. No, yeah, man. Like I was saying, yeah, man. I ended up running back into these two officers on their bikes, and they just looked at me like this is crazy, you know, like what's wrong? Like, what the hell, you know? And so this time.
All right, so you went under. You went under. All right. Okay, we're back. We're back.
Yeah, freaking yeah, man. So what ended up happening was these guys just looked at me and they just told me like, man, just walk back in, like take your ass back in school. Like, we're not even gonna take your ass in. We're not even gonna book you. Just do us a favor, man, and save us the time and effort and headache of having to do all this paper.
Yeah. So poke. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. You know what? And as a matter of fact, we actually got somebody on here that's a former. I can't even pronounce it right now. Anyhow, he was on death row before. Okay, we can hear you now.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody.
Yeah, we got a few of those guys here right now too.
Yeah.
On these yards now.
Do you know?
Condemned.
Do you know Carlos Contreras?
Yeah, I think this stuff is continuing to cut out, man. I don't know if.
Yeah.
We should probably continue this conversation some other day or whatnot, but it just doesn't want to give today. Tonight.
Okay. Hello.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So if you want, so what we could do is, if you're available tomorrow, we could try tomorrow evening if you're available.
Okay.
And we could continue tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, we could keep doing this, but I mean, you see what's going on here, so I don't.
It's all bad. It's all bad right now. Yep. I mean, we were good for like the first hour, and then it went out. So if you want, we'll go ahead and terminate this interview, and then we could start up tomorrow, and then I would say maybe like five or six if that's good for you, and then we could do it like that.
All right. Yeah, that sounds good right there. That sounds about right. Sounds like a good time. Maybe it won't be tripping around that time as well. You know, like those are good times, I think.
Okay. All right. Cool. Then.
I think.
Hey, so I want to go ahead and thank you, Eric, for calling in, and I got a saying.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
On here before I cut off the YouTube stream, normally I say life's like a candle. Once you blow it out, it's lights out. And with that, we are out.